Right, everyone, carrying on now with my build of these Aeldari Guardians. So, well, being specific, Storm Guardians. So, in order to build your Guardian models as Storm Guardians instead of Guardian Defenders, we basically have to go for things like these top knotted heads. Now, good thing is, it doesn't really matter which one you use. They all kind of fit on the model. So all I'm going to do is just basically go along and snip them all out. I'm just really not going to worry about the numbers, but if you are curious, they're kind of labelled 18, 19, 20 and so on. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I'm not going to deny this. I am literally just going to go for the full helmeted heads. I'm just one of those. I just like helmeted heads, but the real truth to that is just that I need to speed up my painting, and faces are going to slow me down. I've just got a lot of painting to do at the moment, so anything to add to it at the moment, the complexity, I kind of just need to step away from. I feel like no matter how much I get done, I've always got something else to do. I think I've given myself a very big challenge doing combat patrol. When I did Stormbringer, I was like, oh, I don't want to paint them until I've got all the paints. And that just ended up with a pile of unpainted miniatures. They were built, but they weren't painted. And it just left it as a chore, unfortunately. So I said to myself, with this, I'm staying on top of everything from the painting, building, and the only thing I've not really got around to doing yet is playing. Partly because with the house move and everything, I'm feeling a bit kind of not ready to do painting. Gosh, this one doesn't want to clean up, does it? Yeah, don't have time for playing yet, unfortunately. Requires both. I probably should start playing, even if I just do the tutorials on my own, because I am playing in the background with my son, but not often as I would like. He's a teenager, he's got his own life. Okay, right, and then all we need to do with these basically is I'm gonna glue them on. So this should be a nice fast process with any luck. Be mindful though, because you've got to think about, you know, how you want the weapons. So position the head, thinking about weapons. Sometimes it's a good idea to actually put the weapons on first, and then have the head reacting to the weapons. I feel like I'm doing a bit of a mass production thing like at the moment, aren't I? Same with painting later on is going to be a conveyor belt. Probably don't need to keep picking them up to do this. Probably just pop the glue in like that. And then, there we go, that's better. Just gonna pop my heads in quick. If the glue's not fully dried, I might be able to slightly twist the heads when I start putting the weapons on. I really should have put the weapons on first and then had the heads responding to the weapons, but never mind. Right. Now, in order to make these storm guards, we need the pistols, which are these here, and we need the swords and chainswords. So, again, I'm not going to worry too much about numbers. They seem to have similar numbers anyway. So we've got things like 64s, 98, so they seem to be quite the same almost. So I need 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 8 pistols and 8 swords. Now the reason I don't need 10 is because I'm going to give special weapons to 2 of them. So I just need 2 more. Okay. And then basically just get these popped on. Now I need a bit of cleaning up, frustratingly. Probably best off doing all the cleaning and then doing all the attaching separately. And I'll just should speed me up doing it this way. Now, part of the reason I'm doing 2 special weapons is because although I think special weapons are essential in most squads, they'll aid in, you know, in any battle. It's also a way for me to show you, if you're preferring to go Guardian Defenders, it's a way for me to kind of show you how to do a double-armed one, basically where you've got to use both arms together. But we will get to that quite soon. You've got to be careful with these because there's so many thin bits on them, unfortunately. Okay, now it's quite simple. You just need to pop them on. Now just think about the arm positioning though when you are dealing with different ones. So you've got to kind of think about how they're looking, direction they're facing, what kind of pose they're in, to kind of help give, you know, a feeling that they're actually dynamically on a battlefield. See, that one doesn't work with that arm there. If you have to, just pick out different weapons later on and, you know, add them together. And again, this is why it's kind of like I said, actually I should have put the arms on before I should put the bodies on, because now I'm finding that stuff like that needs dealing with. Yeah, he now needs his head twisting to be pointing down the gun. Trying to make sure as well that I save a couple of bodies that look like they should be holding special weapons as well. Same with that guy, needs to twist his head so he's looking down. And sometimes you might want him to be looking down the direction of his sword, but other times you want them to look in the direction of the gun. It's entirely your choice, really. Okay. Now we need to get our swords and chainswords out, which are over here. Zoom out a little bit, actually. So I'm going to use these nice looking power swords to begin with. I definitely prefer power swords myself. Two, three. Again, I'm not really overthinking this when I cut them out and just grabbing hold of. I just need 8, so there's 4, 5, 6. You can use the chainswords as well, it's entirely your choice. I just prefer a bit of continuity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, picked out a chainsaw there. I'm really aiming to get all power swords, but I don't think that's a choice, unfortunately. Let's have a look. That's 6, 7. Come on, one more. I just need one more sword. Power sword. Please have one more power sword available to me. I will be so annoyed if there isn't just one power sword spare. Chainswords. Oh, come on. There's got to be one more. Yeah, I don't think there is. However, that does present me a little bit of an opportunity. If I just give a... Ooh, that broke. I suppose one power sword makes enough of a difference just to give a slight change. I'd just have rather they all had one type of weapon, but that doesn't seem to be an option, unfortunately. Otherwise, that's what I would have done. I would have just had them all with the same weapon, but I can't see an 8th one of these. Look at that, a mold line, right? These are going to be a nightmare, aren't they? Look at them. They break so easily. Right, I'm going to have to be a lot gentler when I'm cleaning these up. My goodness, they break easily. I'm going to be careful, otherwise I'm going to be having to mix and match them just purely because things keep breaking. Oh, wrong one. Do it on this one. There we go. Using a chainsword on this one. Actually, no, that doesn't work. You see what? You've got to be careful with which ones you use because, unfortunately, some like these are crossing the body, and that means that you've got to pair it up with a gun that's not going to get in the way. It's definitely a bit complex putting these last few bits together. And I've got to be very careful cleaning that bit up so the sword doesn't snap. I'll just finish cleaning these up quickly, eh? Trying to brace them against my fingers so that I don't snap anything. Oh, this has been a long build. And I'm not done yet. I've still got 2 guns, 2 special weapons, and that big heavy support weapon to go. So this is going to carry on a bit longer, isn't it? And I've got to make sure that I'm really getting... See, you've got to be careful, because sometimes if you put them like that, it just looks kind of comical almost when both arms are out. Got to kind of pick your arms correctly so that they complement each other, otherwise they can look just too much. Like this one looks a bit better because it's kind of in more of a balanced pose. Doodle. See, if I wasn't doing Craft World Ulthway, I probably would be looking at doing my own kind of piratical Aeldari army, not a Drukhari. I think that's how you say it properly, like Craft World Pirates. And of course, with the return of the Old World and the High Elves, we could even potentially convert up an Exodite army, a proper Exodite army. Which would be quite cool, having an Exodite. This one look like he's really kind of... I know I said like you've got to be careful not to have it looking too, but it really looks like he's coming in for the kill now. I just need like that anime effect going past him and he'll look like he's doing an anime attack. Right. Okay, so that's what these guys look like. And I'm just going to move them out of the way so I can now focus on these two, which are going to use the specialist weapons here. So what I need to do, I need to get out this number 46 here. Now let me just double check, because this is where I've got to make sure that I'm getting the right arms, because this is always the problem when you're not following the instructions anymore. I think it's number 45. I'm pretty confident that that one there is... This is it. I'm gonna. It could be a little bit of an experiment, this, as I try and work out if this is the right combination of arms. No, it can't be, can it? That's what is the arm that attaches to that? It can't be 45 because 45 has a gun, a grenade in it. Let's try. Let's try a 42. This is going to be a bit of trial and error. As I said, I don't have the proper instructions for this part, so I'm just kind of making it up and hoping for the best. I'm sure that some of these arms, watch out, look at that bending, that gun. It's definitely weak. Right, please, 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 please be the right one. Oh! Oh, come on, which one are you then? It could be. I'm just trying to work it out here. It doesn't seem... No, it's definitely not. Right, I'm going to have to really have a good look first. I think... Gosh, it's not... They're not making this easy, are they? They've really, like, decided they're going to make this as hard as possible. I just popped out a 49 there. And, you know... I think number 49 is our matching piece. Unfortunately, when you can't find the instructions, I don't know why I can't find the instructions online, it just doesn't make any sense to me that. I'm sure it's got to be somewhere. Oh, do you know what I probably did? I probably searched for Guardian instructions. No, it can't be this one either. Eesh, what's it playing at this? Right, I think I'm going to have to stop completely and find the instructions. Right, so according to this 46 attaches to a 47. Which I don't know how I missed that. It was just so obvious. I don't know why I completely went off on a weird hackathon of chopping arms off and hoping for the best. I am so dumb. But that's why I do this, so I can cock up and make all the different mistakes, and you can sit back and watch me do it, so then you don't do the same cock up. Just wondering if I can maybe get some government funding, you know, like kind of demand, you know, insist that what I do classes as a public service. See if I can get a government grant on the grounds that I feel like what I do is a public service, showing everyone how to put this together, and I'm promoting a great British company. So you know, stranger things have happened. But then, you know, I'm not a wealthy person with more than enough money, so I can't imagine the UK government giving me many breaks. You have to be wealthy to be able to maliciously claim government money. Oh, that's controversial of me. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway. Ew. Right, let's get these last ones together. Come in. Oh, yeah, this 86 and 87 combo should work. I hope it works. I just realised I've reiterated that what numbers I've used then, because I don't think I said, so I was not paying attention myself. Stop dropping. Stop dropping off. I didn't ask you to drop. Okay, and that should be other one done. There's actually 4 different variations of this gun, which I think is quite cool. I don't know whether or not the rules allow you to use 4 of those guns in a single squad, but you know, it doesn't matter. That's basically how you put those 2 specialist weapons. I wasted far too much time then faffing around, didn't I? Randomly picking numbers when I should have just used my brain and gone, oh yes, numbers naturally go up by 1. Not always the case with Games Workshop kits, but in this case it was. Right, heavy weapon time. Well, it's not actually a heavy weapon for this unit. It's actually some kind of, I think it's a shield generator. So need to get these main bits out. So basically 102, 101 and 103, which is this bit. And that's kind of like the same for the actual heavy weapon platform that you can use. Kind of like the fact that the Aeldari's heavy weapons just sort of float around. This is a horrible sharp one to clean up, and the other problem is the mold lines seem to be in a really difficult to deal with place too. Like right on an edge. Okay, let's get this correct as well. This is quite cool. Said, I love the fact that everything is like heavy support platforms are also just floated around, because that kind of makes sense. You want to keep everything mobile, don't you? You don't want to be kind of slowed down by any part of your equipment when your main aims are hit and run tactics. Don't need to actually glue that in by the look of it, which, you know, for the heavy weapon platform makes sense. Okay, now we need this here, kind of 104, and that's going to hold it on the base. Again, I would say for the purpose of heavy weapons, you probably don't want to glue that down. Actually, no. I was going to say maybe it'll twist and rotate, but it doesn't. It really is probably best off being glued down. I've just checked, then it doesn't really rotate. It can do, but it doesn't really do that well. It'll be just easier to rotate the base, the whole base. Gotta love the aesthetics though, haven't you? It just looks so cool. Okay, so for this, as I said, I'm convinced that this is a shield generator of some sort. You need 117, and then we need 119, 116. Gosh, where's my numbers all over the place? What we end up with when we're done here. Glue this into the top of this, and then this is where this pops on. Should have done it this way first, shouldn't it? This one. And then pop onto here. And then that gives us our little shield generator. So it is different. If you want to do the heavy weapons for a Guardian Defender squad, you then obviously have to use these. But I'm also going to point out that, you know, actually, if you don't glue this part down, there's no point in me not gluing this part down, really. But you could probably, easily turn these into magnetized weapons. Just basically find some rectangular magnets, cut that part off there of each one, put a magnet in there, and you'll basically have some quick swap weapons. But I don't have any square magnets on me anyway to actually show you how to do that, but I don't really need it for this kind of force because they use what looks like some kind of shield generator. So there we have it. That is how we build Stone Guardians, including their support weapons and their support platform. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you probably when I review the Wraith Lord and build that gorgeous thing.